Good morning, Kate, and welcome to my rooftop. It is at long last finally starting to feel like spring, still a little cold, hence the leather jacket, but the sun is out. I would show you, but I doubt that would show up very well. Alright, Kate, today I was going to make a video about how to treat celebrities in a restaurant. However, when you talk about all of the celebrities you've met and how awesome you are and how posh your restaurant is, you end up just sounding like a fucking asshole. So instead, I've decided to make a video about a science project I did in the 3rd grade. And there's an airplane, another airplane. Spring and there are airplanes. So now we shall leave the wonderful sunshine of my rooftop and go back down into the dungeon of my bedroom to talk about science. Okay, so we're actually in Kevin's room again, but you know, lighting. So, when I was in 3rd grade, we all had to do a project on a scientist. And in this project we had to talk about their accomplishments, their inventions, prizes and whatnot, but we also had to dress up like the person. So, being 8-year-old me, I of course wanted to pick a female scientist. My mother immediately suggested Madame Curie, who is of course fabulous. I'll actually link to the scishow video that Hank Green did about her. But at the tender age of 8, I knew that by picking Madame Curie, the most famous of all female scientists, all the girls would want to be Madame Curie, and sure enough, I think there ended up being like 2 or 3 of them. So I, wanting to be unique, needed to pick another lady scientist. So I went to the library to look for lady scientists, and the first thing I did, because I guess I was a bit of a narcissist in elementary school, as elementary schoolers tend to be, I looked for scientists with the name Caitlin, Kate, or Catherine. The very first Kate, Caitlin, or Catherine I found happened to be Katharine Burr Blodgett. At least I really hope that's how you say her name. Alright, I don't actually wear glasses, so now I'm gonna take these off. You've probably never heard of Miss Blodgett, however you do probably use one of her inventions. She was known for pioneering non-reflective glass, which is most commonly used in camera lenses. Katharine Burr Blodgett, or Katie, as she was often known, was born in 1898 in Schenectady, New York, to Katharine Burr and George Blodgett. Unfortunately, George Blodgett was killed just a few weeks before her birth. George Blodgett had been a patent director at General Electric. Katie's family was pretty secure after her father's death, though. She, her mother, as well as her brother, George Jr., were able to move to New York City shortly after Katie's birth. They then moved over to France for about 11 or 12 years, returning back to New York City, where Katie finished high school and then went on to earn a bachelor's degree. Possibly inspired by her father, Katie did pursue some scientific studies, going to visit GE. There, her father's former colleagues introduced her to a gentleman by the name of Langmuir. Langmuir inspired a young Miss Blodgett to broaden her fields of scientific study, so she went to pursue a master's degree at the University of Chicago, and also ended up being the first woman to get a doctorate of physics from Cambridge University. Her final thesis paper for the University of Chicago was about how carbon molecules really absorbed most poison gases, and actually her research went a long way to improving gas masks. When Blodgett returned to Schenectady to work in GE, she of course picked up her partnership with Langmuir, who at the time was working on monomolecular coatings. Try saying that 3 times fast. She then invented a color gauge that could measure these molecular oily coatings to within about 1/1000th of an inch. The color gauge that she invented actually was derived from when you see a soap bubble and you notice all the colors, and she came to realize that each of the colors you saw actually represented a different thickness on the surface of the bubble. Freaking crazy, man! It ended up being that these coatings could reflect light in such a way to make glass non-reflective, which came in very useful for optics and camera lenses. Langmuir ended up going on to win a Nobel Prize for his work in monomolecular chemistry, which Katie did not. She did, however, get 8 patents and lived a very full life. She did not get married or have children, though she did live in what is commonly referred to as a Boston marriage with a woman named Gertrude. No one infers anything on any website or book that I've read, but you can draw your own conclusions. Another reason why I love the internet, I just found a couple interesting tidbits of information about Blodgett. Turns out she was an actress in her local theater's group, and she volunteered at a lot of places. She also played bridge with friends and wrote funny poems in her spare time. Blodgett died in 1979, and as you can tell, her legacy has mostly been forgotten, though I am proud to say she did get a school named after her in 2008. Well, that's all I have for now. I hope you learned something. The next time you see me, I will be in South Africa. Hopefully not getting eaten by a shark. That would be good. The image that I'm gonna leave you with now actually has more to do with the topic I had originally planned for this video, since I was going to mention that I had accomplished my nerd goal of meeting Joss Whedon. But it's such a good picture that I just couldn't let it go to waste. So, here you go. Enjoy.